Hey all, Sam Johnson here with PayTrace. There's a lot of really bad four-letter words out there in the world, but there's two in particular in the payment space that I want to talk about that just they really rub me the wrong way. And these are EIRF, EIRF, and STND standard. Now, what are those guys? Well, we consider those downgrades. A downgrade is what happens when a credit card does not qualify at the lowest possible rate for a merchant. We call these typically non-qualified rates. And these are actually most of the time very avoidable, and it just takes a few best practices so that we don't see these appear on our merchant statements. Now, what can we do? What are some of these tips that we can leverage to make sure that we're paying the lowest possible? The first one I want to talk about is settlement. Now, guys, when you accept a credit card, when a credit card is initially processed, we get an authorization. To capture those funds, we want to make sure that we are settling in a timely manner, typically within 24 hours of that initial sale. If we're not, what's going to happen is that authorization is going to grow stale, and the card brands are going to qualify those at a higher rate, right? We're going to downgrade that. Those are going to go to things like EIRF, if it's over that 24-hour period but less than 2 days. Anything beyond that is going to standard, and team standard is you should never be seeing that, right? Those are not good rates. You're paying a lot of money on those transactions. Now, settlement's going to be a big deal. The other thing I want to talk about is address verification, or you might hear it called AVS. Now, AVS is a great security tool, right? We use this to avoid and mitigate fraud. If we can get the correct address and zip code on a transaction, right? Typically, the customer is who we say they are, is who we think they are, and that's going to lead to less opportunities to have chargebacks or anything negative happen. Now, AVS also plays into interchange, right? If we can get AVS added to our transactions, especially if it's correct AVS, then we're going to get lower rates. So guys, if you are processing transactions, if you have merchants that are taking transactions and they are not consistently adding in that information when it's applicable, right? We want to make sure that we're doing that every time to avoid these downgrades. So just a couple tips, right? Settle every day, use AVS when it's applicable, and we're gonna see some lower rates appear on accounts. Now, what's really cool is that we've got these tools like PayTrace that make this super easy for merchants to take advantage of, right? On a lot of transactions, there's also even lower interchange rates that we can qualify for that a lot of people aren't familiar with. So check out some of the tools that we have. We've got some really great ways to save merchants some money on these high fees and really make sure that they are processing as efficiently and as optimally as they possibly can. Guys, if you want to learn a little bit more about some of these tools that we have, we'd love to have that conversation with you. Get a hold of our sales team at sales@paytrace.com. We've got a bunch of account managers that really want to improve the processing for a lot of these merchants. So reach out to them. Or if you have any general questions, contact our support team. We'd love to hear from you. Guys, again, let's do what we can to avoid these downgrades. Us in the payment space, let's be some really great trusted advisors for our merchants and make sure that we are all following best practices.